Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Becky Durant.
I'm Sam Coe. Today we're going to be kind of looking at a different lens, buyer versus seller, and the things that sellers, the top 5 things they need to do to kind of get their house ready for buyers to walk through. And on Becky's end, since she works with buyers exclusively, I work with sellers exclusively, kind of what the big deal killers are for her buyers when they're walking through a listing. So kind of looking at both sides of the...
Let's see if they line up.
Yeah.
We are located in the Triangle area, so that's Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Southern Wake County, Johnson County, Harnett County is where we primarily focus. All right, so Sam, I asked you to create a list of 5. Did you make 5?
I made 5.
5 things that you always recommend sellers do to prep for listing. Okay, and then I made a list of 5 things that are not necessarily deal killers, but definitely eyesores or things that turn buyers away when we walk into listings. So let's see what matches and what doesn't.
A couple of mine are kind of non-conventional, so you might be surprised by my answer. They aren't like direct things.
Okay, interesting. Are yours listed in like ranking or just 5?
5.
Okay, so are mine. All right, so give me one of yours and I'll tell you if that's one of mine.
Having a real strategy session with your realtor partner.
Oh.
Before we're even talking about the logistics of listing.
Okay. Oh, well, that's why you are the logical one. I went straight into the house.
But look, I mean, you have me over to your house, and you're thinking about selling, right? And you're telling me how your neighbor down the street sold for $500,000 or whatever, and you're assuming your house is also going to sell for $500,000, and maybe they have comparable square footage and comparable upgrades. But I mean, the reality, kind of that I was going for here is our pricing is always going to be based on condition. Number one,
right?
People are buying a resale home, essentially a used home.
Yeah.
So we have to consider condition in our pricing. We have to consider your timeline as a seller, like what you need to accomplish and how quickly that needs to happen.
Because it's not always gonna...
Yeah, and what your circumstances are.
And you do account for that because like you do before listing, right? When you do your listing prep for this strategy session, you look at even if it's not a direct comp, you kind of know what's gonna be pulled, right? From the seller's eyes.
Like what they're going to be comparing their house to.
Yes, because it's going to be the highest priced one that's sold in the neighborhood.
Of course.
And sometimes, why would that not line up?
The size of your home, that's number one. I think a lot of sellers are looking at a home that's 400 square foot bigger than theirs.
Down the street.
And not realizing the difference in the space. And, we do price based on square footage. So, an average in our area could be $250 a square foot, depending on size of the house. So that's a lot of money when you're talking about hundreds of square feet difference. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
And then condition, obviously, and the amenities the house has.
And a lot of neighborhoods around us that we serve in have like their new construction, but they're new construction for several years, right? Several phases. So if you take a listing where they're technically in a new construction neighborhood, but their house is 5 years old, and there's a listing down the street that's brand new construction now offering all these incentives.
That's a totally different conversation. I mean, that's direct competition where you're having to compete with something brand new for the same price. The math doesn't work for buyers. Yeah. So that's definitely a strategy conversation.
Well, that's a great one. I don't have that on my list of 5, but I will say I do always meet with buyers for a strategy session or buyer consult, whatever you want to call it, before we start looking at houses to discuss the timeline, the process, your goals, the paperwork, because now documentation looks different and we have to have some sort of agency agreement signed before we can even step foot into a house. So I do those things. I just didn't put it on my list. So I guess let me read.
That's fine. Our brains work differently. That's why I work with sellers and you work with buyers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe read your next one and then we'll...
You're gonna make me do my whole list.
Because I don't know how to. I feel like some of ours are gonna line up.
Okay. This is a really simple one. Paint.
Okay, that's on mine. I knew that was coming on yours.
Y'all, this is the dumbest thing. It's a can of paint.
Yeah.
And it, and you think to yourself, that's so stupid. Why is Sam so adamant that we paint? Because paint can be changed so easily.
Yes.
Right. So you need to do it before you list.
And it matters.
It does matter.
Yes, because I'll tell you on the flip side, buyers walking through a home that hasn't been painted or is outdated colors, bold colors, multiple different colors is a huge turnoff.
Yeah.
Like so distracting to walk through. Not so much for me, but I can see why, like you can't envision yourself if your style is one thing and that paint colors on every wall is something else, and it's like taking away from actually viewing yourself in the home.
It seems silly, but it's a game between buyers and sellers, and perception equals value for people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fresh paint, neutral paint, and neutral paint 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago is not necessarily neutral paint today.
Yeah.
There's no judgment. You can paint your house whatever color you want, but if you're looking to list it and be, get as many eyes and as many buyers in there, it needs to appeal to the masses, right?
Yeah. I mean, paint's money in a can. It's the biggest single return on investment item that you can do. You're always absolutely going to get your money back on it.
So what do you recommend they paint the entire house?
No. And that's part of our strategy session. I'm walking through and we're looking at the key rooms. We're looking at rooms that maybe have high traffic, a lot of wear and tear, if they have kids or pets or whatever. You live in the house. It's acceptable that things need to be touched up before listing.
It makes a huge difference for buyers. It really does. It looks good. It smells good. It smells clean, fresh. It's worth it. So I will say my next one, I don't know if it lines up with yours, but flooring, specifically mismatched flooring. Or just carpet that's in really, really bad shape. But I would say more so mismatched flooring. So I've walked in houses where the entryway is like the original linoleum or parquet flooring, and then you walk into so that's like one color of wood or version of wood. And then you walk into the living room and they've updated it because it used to be carpet and that's now LVP. And then you walk into somewhere else and that's original hardwood. And so you've got 3, 4, 5 different colors in every room, and it's
distracting.
It's distracting, and it's also like, why? Yeah. Why did you
save money, or how they use that particular room?
Yeah, but it's just really hard to see past. It's like paint.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think too, it's another it depends scenario, because, I work with some clients who can, financially dig into things like replacing the flooring in one level of the house before listing, and some can't. And so again, it's a strategy session on how do we maximize your dollar while still appealing to the most number of buyers to get the house sold. So yes, I agree with that. It's very distracting when there's multiple flooring.
Yeah. Was that not on your list?
No.
Okay. All right. So we've got 2 on mine, 2 on yours. Give me another one on yours.
All right. This is an easy one. A deep clean.
Oh, I should have put that on.
I think honestly,
so true.
Buyers are so picky right now, and kind of going back to like the fresh paint look and smell, it's the same thing. Like when they walk through the house and they feel like the house has been maintained and cared for, they're not as worried about what's in the attic, what's under the floors, what's in the walls, because they feel like it's been taken care of.
Yeah.
If it's dirty, it's an immediate turn off.
That's true. And just in general, like none of these for me or for buyers are necessarily a deal breaker alone, but when you start stacking them, and especially if the house is like dirty, which I mean, these are lived in homes, so we understand that you can't necessarily deep clean the house yourself before you're selling, or the time, or kids, or whatever the scenario is.
We have partners for that.
But you just have somebody come in and do it.
I'm talking about a $400 or $500 investment that is absolutely going to make your listing shine for photos, for marketing, and for buyers walking through.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm adding that. So I have like 7 on my list now.
I thought we were doing 5.
I know, but I have 5. Plus I added the deep clean and
the strategy session. All right, cool.
All right, so we're running out of time this week, so I think we're gonna have to pause it and come back next week for part 2 I don't even think we knew this was going to be a two-part from the beginning, right? But
We're just yakking away.
so much to unpack here. So we're going to pause it for now. If you have any questions about anything that we've discussed, so far, feel free to reach out. You can email us, you can call us at the information on the screen. You can always comment below, and make sure you follow, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, yeah.
And we'll see you next week.